Hey everyone, Kelly Boyer here from Transformative Healing. And if you ever want to check out more of my content, you can always find me at www.kellyboyer.org. So today I want to talk to you about dissociation and what we can do to practice to bring the mind body back together. So, a lot of times when we experience trauma at any time in our life, that could be in childhood, that could be in adolescence, young adulthood, in adulthood, it doesn't matter. What happens is that when the body experiences it and brings it in, no matter how big the trauma is or how small the trauma is, it then holds on to that trauma. So when we talk about triggers, or when we talk about, it could be like past wounds coming back up, and we always say, they're starting to boil to the surface. It's because the body has held on to that trauma for so long. And remember, when I say so long, we automatically always think, oh, this is from childhood, or this is from a long time ago, or this might be past life stuff. That's not always necessarily true, because we can experience a trauma from a month ago that the body was holding on to, and now the body is ready to release. So what happens, I'm going to go back to dissociation. When dissociation happens and we have that traumatic event, we truly do fragment. And what I mean by fragment is our mind body splits from each other. And the reason this happens is truly it's like a safety or a defense mechanism that our natural being just happens to do, because sometimes we need to have that split in order for our own body and in our internal system to not be so overwhelmed by shock. So it does a split, honestly, to keep us safe. So I'm going to give an example of this. Because if you guys know my background, I've worked in mental health and public safety for a very long time. So when we talk about rape victims, right? So a lot of times the way that it was in the past is that as soon as that incident happened, they would go and question the victim, and the victim would not be able to remember much, or if anything. So a lot of times those victims weren't always believed because they couldn't remember what happened. So that is our psychological body and mind separating from each other to help keep that victim safe from that overwhelm of shock. Because you guys know, when our body goes into shock, if it is too much, it actually can kill us. So we have this built-in innate safety mechanism that when our body becomes so overwhelmed, and I'm talking body, mind, soul, it doesn't matter, it becomes so overwhelmed that it does a sense of splitting. So going back with the example of rape victims, when time passes, and this could be, it could be 3 months, 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 10 years, memories start to come back together when the mind body began to start to align. And then all of a sudden, they're remembering what happened and very specific details. And now they're saying, like I can give you the information that you asked me to give you however long ago. We have to allow for that time to just allow that victim to just honestly to just be and really start to heal internally before we really start questioning them. So I bring that up, and I realize it's probably like a really extreme example, but I really want you to understand what happens in trauma. Again, the body does not distinguish between what is a big trauma versus a little trauma. All it knows is that this was a traumatic experience and it's holding on. So when we split, we do the mind body split. What happens is now we are operating from two different aspects that are trying to resolve whatever like that issue is, or that challenge, or that experience is. So a lot of times what happens is we really struggle to heal it because we have that split. or we start getting triggered a lot and we don't understand why we're getting triggered, and we're trying to do all these things to heal whatever that trigger is, but there's still this split. And what happens is the mind has an idea of how it needs to be healed. The body truthfully knows what to do, and it's almost like they're fighting against each other. But it's interesting because they're fighting against each other, but has the same purpose of wanting to heal whatever is happening. So, in healing and energy work, it is really important for us to develop a relationship. I'm sorry that I'm kind of giggling. My dog is over here and he is scratching and he's making the funniest noises. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's what happens when you have furry coworkers and partners. So, I digress. So let's get back to the conversation at hand. So part of energy healing really is bringing that mind body connection together and then educating the ego on what we want to keep with us that keeps our body in harmonic resonance versus what needs to be released and let out. So we actually have to teach and train and practice this form of bringing the fragments together for us to, number one, really go internal and really go inside for that healing, because truthfully, that's where all that healing takes place. And to be able to really go deep inside, because we don't want to just do surface level because we're just putting band-aids on top of everything. So we actually do need to train ourselves, our mind, body, and our ego, how to do this so that we can actually come into harmonic resonance with ourselves, so that we can heal, or at least start the healing process. So one of the things that I want to do today is, because I'm all about providing tools, right? I really want to empower people to really step into their own healing, to be able to have tools to be able to, when something comes up, to go inside and heal. So that's one of the reasons why I always give a lot of informative videos, because it's important to have this awareness. But now, most importantly, it's important for you to have a tool to be able to do that. So today I'm just going to walk you through just a really quick exercise. To be honest, as I was first going through the healing of all of the traumas that I've had in my life, it was really difficult, but I stuck with it. I did 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the evening, and then soon that became like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But in the beginning, I didn't hear anything. Like, I didn't experience, I didn't hear, I didn't see, I didn't sense anything. And there's nothing wrong with that. And the reason I'm telling you this is because there are so many of us that are so split and cannot communicate with our bodies. So I don't want you to think that when we go to practice this, if you don't hear anything, that there's something wrong. Or I also don't want you to be like, well, I can't do it. Because the truth is that we all can. It takes time. It takes time to learn how to do that. It's just like meditation. We don't naturally just all of a sudden go into meditation and we've got it. A lot of meditation teachers talk about like doing 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. And so this is the same thing, because again, all of us have experienced trauma in some sort of way, and we have become so disconnected that we no longer hear what our body is telling us that we need. So I encourage everybody to just practice when you can. If it's only in the morning, in the evening, maybe it's on your lunch break, it doesn't matter. If it's 5 minutes, who cares? The goal is to start teaching our mind, body, consciousness to come together. And then once we can get that together, we can really educate our ego on how to work with us and for us, rather than just kind of going rogue and doing its own thing. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of demonstrate this. It's just going to be real quick. We'll take maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes. I don't know, but I just kind of want to walk you through this so that you guys just have an idea of what to do. And and honestly, the more that you do this and the more that we bring those consciousness together, I'm going to tell you, healing can really pick up. Like, the pace of the healing can really pick up. It could be really good. It could be something that happens to you at a grocery store, and now, because you have that connection with your body and your body's talking to you, you can, as you're walking through the store, you can have this internal dialogue where we're getting the body and the mind collaborating together. And then of course, pulling in the ego for that collaboration as well. Okay, so hopefully you guys are sitting in a comfortable spot. I'm just going to encourage you just kind of get comfortable. It doesn't matter if you're, see, I'm already getting ready. My guides are like already closing my eyes, getting me ready for this. So you could be sitting in a chair, on the floor, laying in the bed. I don't care where you're at, just as long as you have just enough quiet space where you can focus on going in internally. All right, so I'm gonna listen to my guides who are nudging me along to get this going. All right, so just go ahead and shut your eyes. I find sometimes that it helps to put my hand on my heart, but you do not have to do that. You could do what feels good to your body. And all we're gonna do is just start by just focusing on our breathing. We're not gonna do anything special. We're just gonna focus on the natural rhythm of our breathing. So go ahead and just take a couple minutes to do that. And I just want you to bring in all the awareness of it. How it comes in, how it exits your body. Notice how your nervous system will naturally start to slow down because we're giving it attention. And just allow that rhythm to flow. And one of the things that you'll start to notice is that when we bring our attention to our breathing and just allow it to naturally flow, you will begin to take deeper breaths. And this is the start of bringing the mind body together. And as you breathe, and our nervous system begins to slow down, creating space that we need to begin to bring that connection together. All I want you to do is have your mind. And the way that we do this is you could just say this in your head. Body, where is there any discomfort or dis-ease? And mind you, the body is going to talk to you because we're talking to it, but it is highly possible that it will be so subtle. You have to really go in and listen to see where it's at, because the body and you may have never had a conversation or a connection like this before. So until the body honestly trusts you, it can be very subtle on where that information or where that discomfort is coming from. So I'm just going to share with you what I get. I can feel this discomfort in the right temple, right side of my head in the temple. And so once you discover where that discomfort or dis-ease is, I just want you to take a deep breath into it. And just continue to breathe into that area. And again, just as a reminder, if you do not feel anything, it's okay. Just breathe into your body. That's all I want you to do, because that will help really teach your mind and body to start coming together. So if you're not getting any discomfort or anything, or any messages, or the little, kind of like the little tinge is what I call it. Don't worry about it. Just breathe into your body. All right. So once you have discovered where in your body your body's saying, pay attention to me here, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to use your mind, and you can ask out loud or to yourself, what information do you or are you wanting me to know? And now the key to this exercise is just always trusting what first comes in. Or even when I ask you to breathe into your body and ask your body where that discomfort is, Sometimes we don't always feel it, but we get a sense or a knowing or a thought that comes in that says, "Oh, it's in my chest," or "Oh, it's in my stomach or my solar plexus." Always trust what first comes in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that into my temple as I continue to just breathe into that spot. So I'll share with you the information that I get. My temple, my right temple, is asking me to is to not think so much. I have a tendency to be an overthinker. I try to overthink and really go into problem solving. And so it's asking me to slow that down. So, bringing the mind body connection together is all about curiosity and asking questions. It's almost like you're a detective and now you're investigating why things are happening. So, the next question I'm just going to ask is, tell me more. Tell me more about me needing to slow my thinking down. And then I'm just going to breathe in and allow my body to just communicate with me. Mhm. So mine is telling me because I'm currently in a transition period where I am learning to go with the flow instead of always trying to control what the outcome is. And that is the truth. I am going through that transition period of letting go and going with the flow. But my problem is that my mind wants to take control. So then I'm going to get curious again. And my next question is going to be, first, I'm going to acknowledge and say thank you for that information. But my next question is, how can I do this in a way that is healthiest for me? All right. And so it's telling me that I need to go back to my roots. So I need to go back to the beginning of when first started doing all of this work. And I think that's a brilliant idea. And so, hold on, I'm getting more information. I'm being shown, oh my gosh, I'm being shown to start doing this again. The irony in that, right? That I need to start taking time to just talk to my mind and my body. And as you continue to move forward through this, so I hope that's a couple of examples on how to do this. Eventually, what will happen is you will get to the point of where you know where the healing or where the thing is that you need to focus is. And so when you get to that, all you need to do is just send energy to it. So, however you see that energy. So, let's say if you guys aren't there yet, that's okay. We can go ahead and just practice this. But for those of you that are very clairvoyant or can see things, just see light coming in from the top of your head, filling up your energy field and your body. Or if you're not very clairvoyant, you don't see things, you can just sense it or feel it coming in. Or most importantly, all you have to do is set the intent that light energy is coming into your body. Ooh, I can feel mine coming in already through the top of my head. I feel like I have somebody that's going ooh, ooh, to my head. And just allow that energy to come in. And we're going to focus that energy. For me, it'll be on my right temple. I'm just going to focus that energy right there. And then allow that energy just to do its magic until that discomfort or that dis-ease begins to subside or completely dissipate. And so, a good thing to recognize is that if you think that you're at the end of this exploration journey and then you bring in that light, if it doesn't completely dissolve, there is still more information. And there's nothing wrong with prematurely bringing in light to send healing to it. Nothing's going to happen. It could just help heal even more. So if it doesn't completely dissipate and dissolve, just know that there's more questioning you need to know. And if you run out of questions, the one question that can take you from the beginning all the way to the end that you can repeatedly ask is, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So if you don't know exactly what to ask, all you have to do is say, tell me what you need me to know. Tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. So now for me in doing this, mine hasn't completely dissolved or dissipated. So there's still more work that I need to do, which is what I'm going to do as soon as I conclude this video, because obviously there's information that I'm needing to help me heal or move forward in whatever process that I'm in. So when you are done and you feel like you're healed or you've done the amount of work that you could do for the day, you can just thank your body. Body, thank you so much for giving me the information. Mind, thank you so much for wanting and your willingness to work with my body and to hear it and to allow the body to communicate with you so that you can work together. And then the other thing that we're going to do lastly is we're going to have a conversation with our ego, and we're just going to tell our ego, the discomfort or the dis-ease that I was feeling before this exploratory journey of healing was causing my body to be incoherent. It was not resonating in harmony with my body. And if you were able to get to a point where it dissipated and went away, that means that we have now put our body in harmonic resonance. So the next thing we want to do is ask the ego to just feel what the body feels like when it is in harmony. Just let your ego feel that. And then tell your ego, these are this harmonic resonance that connects to those high vibrational frequencies. That is what we allow into the body, and we can allow it to stay in the body because it's harmonizing our system. That discomfort or dis-ease that I was feeling before this, these are the frequencies that we want to allow out of the body. Now, there is a caveat to this, is that sometimes the ego brings it in, and the body will be our communicator to let us know that there is something we need to pay attention to. The more we practice this, the more we get our mind into alignment, because what will happen is the body will talk, but the mind will not be listening. So it allows us to bring all of that together. So then we have our mind, our body, and our ego all working together. So we're just going to thank our body. Body, thank you so much. From here on out, I'm going to listen to you. And the key is I'm going to listen to you when it is maybe some subtle information, but definitely before my body is in complete discomfort and dis-ease, where it is causing me to have physical pain, which is which is causing me emotional pain. And you can say that however you want to say it. It doesn't matter. There's no fancy lingo or language to say it. It's just showing gratitude and letting your mind and your body and your ego know that they are in your awareness and that you're here to listen. So once you just kind of share that gratitude, you can come back to the room you're in, and then you can go about your day. And that's just one of the ways to really get started in doing your healing. If you ever have something that comes up and you're like, I don't even know where to begin, I don't know where to start, I promise you that is the best place to start. And again, even if you try and you're like, it's not coming up anywhere in my body, you can ask, you can trust whatever first comes in. Or if you're just needing the practice of connecting with your body so you can have that conversation with it, just focus your breathing on your body. And then you can keep checking in. Body, where is there discomfort? If you still don't feel it, it's okay. Keep bringing that awareness and that energy inside. And then you ask, body, Where is that discomfort? Or you can even ask, what are you trying to tell me? And then the key to it, which everybody struggles honestly the most with, is trusting whatever first comes in. I promise you, even if it sounds so ridiculous and you're like, where did that come from? Follow it, follow the path, because the end will bring it all together for you. All right, I hope this was helpful in helping, making us no longer staying in that dissociation. I hope this was a good technique to help start bringing that together so that you can be centered, so that your body can be in harmony and you can start having that balance. This is a very good way. Like when people come to me and they're like, I feel like I'm so out of balance. Well, it's because you're not having a conversation with your mind, your body, your ego, and honestly your soul. When we're having a conversation with all of those, it can start to bring it will, I say it can start, but it will bring it into a sense of centeredness. So you really want to start having a conversation with yourself. So that's really what is most important about this. But if you are struggling with something, or if something is being triggered, I'm going to recommend that's the place to start. A lot of times, that's when I'm working with people, that is the place that I start, because I want them to start going inside. I want them to start connecting that mind, body, ego so that the soul can become whole again. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. As always, I love all of you. I have so much gratitude to each and every one of you. And I hope you guys have a rest of your lovely day. So, from my heart to yours, so much love. Bye, everyone.